Here we go. Y'all looking for me? Yeah. Y'all looking for me? Y'all looking for me? Well, here I is. What's good, everybody? I'm back up in here again. I got my shirt buttoned all the way up like a vato. 2-1 homes. I was gonna unbutton it, but I said that's just a little too much. But hey, I'm here, you here, and the fact that y'all could have been anywhere, and I mean anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. That's what I'm talking about. H to the is O, B to the is A. That was good. Hey man, I am ready to talk about D Wade just a little bit. Not Dwyane Holmes, but Dwyane Wade just a little bit. So, first and foremost, let me give a shout out to the first person in the chat, which was none other than Area 52 Observer. Salute to you, good sir. Shout out to Mercy W. Shout out to my brother from another mother. Let me stop the music. DJ Just JOK, what up, brother? UFO Kamikaze, what's good? On it Halls, what's happening? G Friend 94, what it do in the dough? And then JJ Dubois or Dubois. I think it's Dubois, but I don't know. Vicky Meeks, here I is. That's what's up. Champ Day, what's happening? Red Bird Eagle, what it do? What it do? Tasha Nicole, what's happening? All right, and Ricky Henderson, CJ Gunn, that's what's happening, always there. And my AT, what's going on, AT? What's happening to Constance House? That's so dignified. Constance House. Constance Fry, Constance Fry, anytime you call, Constance will fulfill your needs. Winter, spring, or fall. That's not 48 hours. That's Trading Places. I love you, AT. All right, and I got my man Dwyane Holmes, second to none, off up in here. Yes, indeed. Yes, classic movie, DJ. I mean, epic movie, man. All right, so let's dive right in. And before we do that, I must first and foremost listen to this very important, imperative message from none other than my side chick, my good thing, my baby mama. Actually, my baby's mama. Yeah, my baby's mama. My wife, my forever girl. Tell us about this here fair use.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Yeah, buddy. So, here we go. Now, this has been a hot item on the internet for quite some time now, for the past at least 2 weeks now. And essentially what has happened, for those of you who have been living under a rock, that's why I'm here, to get you up on the happenings in the world and on the internet. Out here in these, as Tommy always say, out here in these YouTube streets, gotta put you on as far as what's happening. If you see the pictures right above my head here, you'll see a scrolling roll of just various pictures of one of the, in my opinion, greatest basketball players of our time. At one time, Dwyane Wade was the best player in the league, aka Flash, old number 3, whatever you want to call it. The boy was cold. The boy in that basketball court, he was cold as ice, like Rick James and Fire and the Zaya. The boy was cold as ice long ago, but he has since retired and will be on and will is he if he ain't in the Hall of Fame, he's gonna be. He's gonna go on to basketball glory. Now, off the court, I personally have had enough of D Wade. From the cranberry colored, I don't know if you want to call it bathrobes or leisure suits, just the whole fashion statements that this nigga has been making. And this, I just can't do it with him. He's worn everything but a ballroom gown. That's all I can say. His fashion taste knows of no boundaries. But that aside, his 12-year-old son, and I will refer to him as Zion, born a male, has recently come out to him and his wife, Gabrielle Union. Now, this is not Gabrielle Union's biological son. He did not come through the birth canal of Gabrielle. He is what we call a stepson. Okay. So he has come out to his parents and has stated that he is in fact a woman in a boy's body and wants to live his life as a transgender woman. Now, he wants to be called Zaya. He wants to have his name changed from Zion to Zaya and wants to be referred to as a she. Now, since then, what up, Eric? Shout out to my brother, Eric Abrams. What's happening, bro? He said his name is Zaya, sir. Let me address that. So, as it turns out, that's what Dwyane Wade has done. Everyone has started to refer to Zion as Zaya. And a lot of people have had a lot of mixed emotions. It's been all over the internet. Boosie flat out lost his mind and went hood on this nigga, talking about cutting the boy's penis off. Don't cut his dick off, Dwyane Wade. D Wade saved the boy's dick. You don't want to cut his dick off. I mean, just went in. If you ain't seen Boosie go off on his rant, yeah, it's a sight to be seen. But I guess what I wanted to do, I didn't necessarily want to go off on a rant. I just wanted to just really just see exactly what he's trying to do, because I'm trying my best to understand his position. And his position definitely conflicts with mine as a father. And I was just recently asked this, and we talked about this. I was actually on the line not online. I was online on Xbox with some of my people, and we was in a pod and we was playing Call of Duty, shooting people, and we got talking about this. And it kind of stuck with me a little bit. It kind of just made me like look at it from his perspective. I said, okay, I know what the hell I'm gonna do. I know how I feel. Let me take a step back and let me try to look at this from D Wade's perspective. And when I did that, I couldn't see it. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. I thought that I was going to have some type of revelation. I thought that I was going to, have an epiphany and get some true understanding, but I just don't. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Here's my biggest problem with this. You don't put children in adult situations, and you don't let children make adult decisions. That's just, I'm talking about parenting 101. You get your book the first day of parenting class, and you turn to it, you see the table of contents, or you see the forward. You see the forward, then you see the table of contents, then you go to the first chapter, children. You do not put them in adult situations, and you do not let them make adult decisions. You just don't. And I don't care what anybody says, when you put a child in an adult situation, or you let a child make an adult decision, you are setting them up for failure. And in most instances, it can even be viewed as child abuse. I'm going to say that again. When you put children in adult situations, or when you let children make adult decisions, I and a few other people deem that as child abuse. Here's why. Because there's some people that say, well, when you know, you know. And you're going to have people that's going to watch it and say, I knew when I was 3 years old. I knew that I was a boy in a woman's body when I was 3 weeks old and my mama's placenta wasn't even formed yet. I knew it when I looked like a zygote in the womb. I knew it then that I get it. However, statistics, which is numbers, show that most people are wrong when they do this shit. When you go through this whole transitioning piece, when you go through this whole, I want to change my lifestyle, I want to cut my penis off, I want to turn my penis into a vagina, I want to take a bunch of pills to grow me a Rick Ross beard, I want to do all of this stuff. Usually, before it's all said and done, that person that has the full transition, going from the transition period of pre-op to post-op, they usually wind up regretting it, having even more severe mental conditions and illnesses, and or they kill themselves. They regret it, they have more issues, and they wind up usually killing themselves. So when we're looking at those particular numbers, because they are staggering, why would you put a child in that situation and let that child make that decision? Because when you let that child make that decision, there are consequences in doing that. Putting your child in hormone therapy when they are prepubescent, it has lifelong irreversible side effects. That little boy that was living as a girl, I can't remember the show, but it was on MTV or VH1 or one of those, where these parents, this little boy I think the little boy was Hispanic or something, and wanted to live his life as a girl, and MTV or VH1, one of those video channels, gave this kid a TV show, a reality TV show, and literally talked about this transitioning. This kid going from being a boy to a girl, picking out dresses and clothes and doing hormone therapy and all of that. Well, now this kid has gotten older and wants to go back to being a boy, if I'm not mistaken, but is having so many problems biologically because of the damage that was done from taking the hormones prepubescent. That means before the kid went through puberty. Taking those hormones has damaged that kid's I am Jazz. Thank you, Just Be Real. I love Soto Nation. God damn, I love y'all. Y'all always own it. Thank you. I am Jazz. That person now is struggling physically, not even talking about the mental aspects, but physically. There are countless stories of people that have gone through the whole entire operation where they've cut off the twig and berries, they've thrown out the beans and franks, they've gotten rid of it, and then they regret it once they get older. They do. And it's to me, just from, because in a sense, this is all new. This stuff is fairly new. So with this whole transitioning stuff and doing this stuff differently, taking the hormones and all of that, when you look back as to how this was treated, because it ain't like the first time, Zaya ain't one of the first kids to ever go through this. This is something that has happened for generations. It's just now more prevalent and can be brought to the front more because of social media and the mainstream media. They're able to do that now. But back in the day, they had a term for this. And it wasn't transgender. It wasn't LBGTINDPENT. It was literally called gender dysphoria. which makes sense. Which makes sense. And one of the biggest things that people always say, well, if you know from birth or you didn't know from birth, or did you know, or did you? The thing is this: on a biological level, your gender and your sex is determined. It's determined. It's determined when you're born, the chromosome, you either get the one or you don't get the one, and that decides if you become a boy or girl. Here's the thing though: the male and female body are so close genetically. It's literally men have the stuff on the outs on the inside out, and women have our stuff on the outside in. That's literally what it is. If you just wanted to simplify it to it's just basic form. All it is our stuff is out, their stuff is in. That's it. But because we are so close genetically, and because of the things that are in our environment, the things that are in our food, the things that are in our clothes, that are in our products, all of this stuff that we have, wouldn't it kind of make sense for the lines to be able to be blurred a little bit to where we could be getting altered genetically to where our brains are getting confused? It would make sense. When you talk about just the way that things progress and just happen over time, could it be the things that are in our foods, like soy? Could it be the things that are in our water, like the runoff from all the pharmaceutical companies and all the drugs and things like that? Which is a fact. You can go look it up. If you look at the tap water that we drink day in and day out in our water sources, the greater majority of them are polluted with trace amounts of different drugs. Wouldn't that make sense for it to be a possibility of some of that stuff altering our brain chemistry? Wouldn't it make sense that that would be a case or something to, yep, I didn't see Dark Waters, but I heard about it and I got it downloaded easy. Yeah, I'm going to watch that. But that shows you that there's the possibility there. So it's not just, a black and white thing to say, hey, this is just what it is, and that's just how it is. You gay, you gay. You're born gay, you're born gay. No. There are things that happen on a scientific biological level that can cause the brain to do certain things. If we can take drugs to make us feel happy, if we can take drugs to make us feel certain ways, to pick this level up or that level down and to alter our brain chemistry, wouldn't it make sense that there are things that we are exposing ourselves to and things that we are eating, things that we're consuming that does the same thing? Now, is that happening to everybody on this effect? No. But when you couple that with child molestation, the uncles, the priests, the cousins, the neighbors, the grandfathers, the friends of the family, the choir directors, the priests, and all. When you couple in all of that, it would make sense to say, well, yeah, some of this is gender dysphoria, and some of this is because of child abuse. Most of these guys and most of these girls that you talk to that are gay, lesbian, GBTQRST, all of that, there has been something that has happened the majority of the time. Whether they didn't have a father in their life, whether they didn't have a mom in their life, whether they were touched as a kid, whether they were sexually abused, whether their first experience was with the opposite sex, whatever the case may be. There's so many different variables that dictate that. And that's one of the things you have to realize is, like, when you're talking about what happens to a child and when you're introducing sex to that child, you're not only abusing that child, but you're writing that child's sexual blueprint, if you will. You're constructing how this child responds to and engages into sex, with sex. So when you have those things happening, what do you get? You get this shit that's going on today. That's what you get. So I just want to go through this and just point out a few things. Please feel free to comment. Please feel free to leave me your comments and we can talk about it. If we get enough people, I'll even open up the phone line and we can chit chat about it. Let's do this.
Thanks for being here. That was a clip from the ESPN documentary. And first of all, I think it's what every parent should be, is what you're being right now, which is unconditionally loving your child and supporting your child in whoever they are. I mean, there are so many parents that are just, oh, you're not going the way I imagined or wanted you to be, and freak out, and you're so loving and supportive of Zaya.
And see, here's the thing. There's a way you can support your kid, and I'm all for that. But there are certain things, and this is one of those things, that you do not let your child decide. And I was asked this question, and let me address that real quick, Brielle. So Brielle said when you was a kid, you knew who was gonna be fruity. No, you didn't. The thing is that when you have one kid, when you have a kid that's exposed to one side or the other, to either being like most boys that be around a bunch of women, they will then take on those mannerisms. Why? Because that's all they're exposed to. If I'm a young boy growing up from birth and all I'm exposed to is a bunch of female energy, all I'm exposed to is my mama, my aunties, my sisters, my grandmamas, and ain't no men around, I'm going to pick up those mannerisms. Does not mean that I will like boys. Does not mean that I am homosexual. I have known plenty of dudes that are flamboyant, or what you call, they're more effeminate. Is it effeminate or feminine? I don't know, but they act like girls. They have feminine gestures. They have feminine movements. And that's just because of what they were around. And what they still choose are women. There are plenty of women that say, "Oh, I like a man that's a little, what do they call it, metrosexual and all that kind of stuff." There are plenty of dudes that grew up like that, but they like women. Look at the 1980s. Every nigga that was in a rock group, R&B group, singing group, them niggas from Shalimar and all them niggas did was dress up like women. The androgynous movement. All them niggas. Now, Boy George was definitely playing for the other side. Most effeminate. Thank you, DJ. Boy George was playing for the other side. But Prince was some of the finest women in the world. Prince was knocking them down. So it's like when you think about the whole thing of just saying somebody who has those tendencies or has those mannerisms, that's my word I'm looking for. Boys that grew up with female mannerisms, it don't mean that they were gay. It just didn't mean that. There were some that were, but there were some that weren't. So it wasn't a thing when you knew you were little. I remember even with me being little, being around a bunch of women, I would find myself talking like women. And it got to the point where my daddy started correcting that shit. It was just what I was around. And he corrected that shit. I never liked boys. So it wasn't like, oh, well, you say because he say girl, or because he say child, or because that he gonna be fruity. No. It doesn't mean that. But the thing is here, him supporting his kid, I totally get that. However, I would not let my kid make that decision until my kid is an adult, because that's an adult decision. Son, you like boys, or you think that you a girl trapped in a boy's body, I understand that's how you may feel, because you in your feelings all day long, because biologically, physically, you're a boy. Plain and simple. If you like girl, if you a girl and you think you like boys, fine. You 12 years old. You ain't gonna be fucking or dating no way. Here's the thing. When you get 18 and you want to put on a dress, put on a wig, put on a dress, put on some lipstick, and you want to twerk for these niggas out here. Shout out to my brother Tommy. You want to do that shit? Fine, but you won't do it as a kid. Well, why can't I live in my truth, Daddy? Because you're making an adult decision as a child, and I will not let you do that as a father. And if you are really that dead set on and honestly believe to your core of you being a girl, then hey, you holding out for 6 years, that's fine. But you won't be wearing makeup and dresses and all that kind of stuff around here. Now, if you want to talk like a girl, I can't change your speech and your vernacular to make you say that's what you gonna do when you around your friends. What you do out there in the world, I get it. When you're at school with your other friends, I get it. But you are going to have to live your life as a child, and then when you want to be an adult, when you get to the point where you grown and you out my house and you going to live your life, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Do you. I get it. Because even when you think about it, being a young boy or a young girl, and just think about it yourself, the kid that you were at 8, you were not that kid at 12. The kid that you were at 12, you were not that kid at 16. The kid that you were at 16, you were not that person at 20. And we talking 4-year intervals here. How much have you changed, or did you change, and how much changed about you in that time frame? So why would I let my kid totally uproot and change their entire life and their entire gender around because of how they feel on the inside? You don't do that as an adult, because at the end of the day, if my kid told me I want to be a soldier, I want to go off to war, and he's 12, do I give this little nigga an AK and say, hey, y'all need to let my boy in and go kill some people? No. If my kid tells me I want to be a mixologist and I want to go and learn how to be a bartender, and do I go and let my kid start mixing drinks and drinking and all that kind of shit? No. My 12-year-old comes to me and tells me I believe that I was born to be a cigarette aficionado. Do I let my kid smoke? No. So why would you let your kid do something like this? If my kid tells me I want to be a porn star, Daddy, at 12 years old, do I enroll my kid and get a camera and some lights and start a goddamn porn company to support my kid? No. So why would you do this when your kid tells you he wants to live his life as a female? You don't put your kid in that type of situation because of the blowback that's going to happen from this. If this kid right now changes in a year or in 6 months and say, I don't know what I was thinking, Daddy, I'm a boy. I'm going to be a boy. He got to live with this for the rest of his life. He does. He's going to have to live with this for the rest of his life. In today's world, I would not expose my kid to that.
And what a special child she is.
Yes, she is. She is.
And here they go already. So I guess if Zaya said, or Zion said, I believe that I'm a female dog and my name should be Lassie, I guess they would have been like, and what a beautiful bitch she is. She's such a gorgeous bitch. I mean, look at the coat on this bitch. That would be the thing that they would do. If Zion said, I believe that I'm a female horse, then we would say, oh, she's such a lovely mare. Such a lovely mare. Oh, the way that she gallops and she trots along the beachfront, it is just a sight to see. It's just daunting to see the way that she moves when she puts on her imitation Clydesdale hoofs and she begins to prance down. That's what we would do. If Zion said, I'm a boa constrictor, we would say, oh, look at the diamond back print on the back of her arms. That's what we would do. No.
Yes, thank you so much for that. First of all, me and my wife Gabrielle Union, we are.
Oh, that's his wife, Gabrielle Union. Who the fuck don't know that, D-Wade? God damn.
We're proud, when I say proud, we are proud parents of a child in the LGBTQ plus community. And we're proud allies as well. And we take our roles and our responsibility as parents very seriously. So when our child comes home with a question, when our child comes home with an issue, when our child comes home with anything, it's our job as parents to listen to that, to give them the best information that we can, the best feedback that we can. And that doesn't change because sexuality is now involved in it. So once...
And here's my other problem. Sex, sexuality, all of that, why is that a choice that a kid needs to make at 12 years old? Why would a kid be concerned about their sexuality at 12 years old? Why would a kid's sexual preference even be a topic of discussion at 12 years old? I am not even trying to hear that shit right there. If a kid is 12 years old, if they can't legally have sex, what difference does it make what sex they decide to identify as? And that's why I would tell my kid, I get it, but you're not living that until you grown. Well, why can't I be who I am? Because you don't know who you are. You're still trying to figure that out. Even though you think you may know, you're still trying to figure it out. And even as an adult, you are still trying to figure that part out, but you are an adult and you have a better grasp of life and reality. As a kid, especially a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, what are you going to do? You shouldn't be having sex anyway, right? So why is that even a concern for you to identify this way or that way when you are not having sex? I don't understand that. I don't understand it. And it's like, even if you're talking about how a kid wants to dress, I want to wear high heels, I want to do... What is the need for you to want to do that at 12 years old? 13 years old? I truly believe that there is a movement to have kids making these decisions so eventually a kid can consent to sex at whatever age. I truly believe that this is where this is trying to go, because I don't see any other reason why anyone would be concerned with a kid making this choice or this decision at 12 years old, 11 years old, 10 years old. Why? If somebody can explain that part to me, I would love to hear it. Why would that be important? I just don't understand that part. And I truly believe that it's a thing about saying, hey, this is something to where we're trying to get kids to be able to say and do whatever the hell they want, and they can choose whatever the hell they want, not just sexually, but in general, period. You're trying to make children adults. And anybody that's trying to do that, you're trying to get a child to make adult decisions, is a person that is trying to take advantage of a child. Plain and simple. Because you know that they're not that well informed. You know that they are not that grounded to make sound decisions, which is why there are laws in place to keep them from doing that. The whole "my kid is trans" movement, why? Why would you have to worry about that? If this kid is going to be a homosexual, or if this kid is going to be transgender, it would not matter until this kid starts dating, starts having sex, because that's when you choose. That's when you choose. But when I see things like this, when I see things like the transgender men that are going into the schools, reading the kids dressed up as women, and I see that kind of stuff, and they got records as sex offenders, and they're being allowed to go into the schools and read to 5-year-old kids? Why? Why would I want to introduce my kid to something that is so isolated in our society that is not even close to being the norm? Why would I want to introduce them to that as being something that's normal? Why? Because I want to try to make it the norm. I want to be able to take advantage of the kids that are going to participate in it. Because when you teach a kid and you introduce that stuff to a kid when they're young, when they get grown, they think it's okay. They think it's good. I've been seeing dudes dress up like women since I was 5. That's why I do it.
Zaya, our 12-year-old, came home. And first, Zion, everybody, I don't know if everyone knows, originally named Zion born as a boy, came home and said, hey, so I want to talk to you guys. I think going forward, I'm ready to live my truth. And I want to be referenced as she and her. I would love for you guys to call me Zaya. And so internally, now it's our job to, one, go out and get information, to reach out to every relationship that we have. My wife reached out to everybody on the cast of Pose. We're just trying to figure out as much information we can to make sure that we give our child the best opportunity to be, her best self.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that it's one thing. It's one thing to have this.
So what does that mean, to be her best self? To be her best self. I'm not understanding that. So like if your son, or if my daughter or if my son wanted to live the one, or thought that they were a boy or a girl or the opposite sex or whatever, why would they need to have their name changed? What does that mean? Why would they need to be able to dress up like the opposite sex? Why would they need to have hormone therapy? Why would they need to have all of this stuff done at the age of 12? Why would I allow this to happen at the age of 12? A kid, a child. Think about it like this. If your child told you, Dad, I'm a lion. Roar! I'm a lion, Daddy. Would you then go and take your son to the zoo and take him to the lion exhibit and put him in the exhibit with the lions? Because based on this is what they're saying. If your kid says, I want to be this, then you should open up the floodgates and expose that kid to everything that is that. Because that's what they're saying that they are. So if my son comes and tells me, Daddy, I'm a lion, I want to be a lion, I should take him to the zoo and put him in the lion exhibit and walk away. Say, all right, son, have a nice life. Or if I got Dwyane Wade money, I should have some lions come and live on my land and let my son live with them. Well, why would you do that, Brian? Because my son said he's a lion, and I'm trying to support him in his lionhood. That's why I did it. Well, the lions ate your son to shreds in 2 days. Well, those lions should have been more understanding to my son's choice in his gender and his biological makeup. He knew he was a lion on the inside, and just because he said that he's a lion on the inside and he went to go live with some lions, they should not have done what they did to him. Those lions bullied him, and they're responsible for his death. That's what we're saying now. If a kid comes and tells you this is what I am, then as a good parent or a good father, you need to support him and expose him to all that is that thing. Daddy, I want to be a gangster disciple. I want to be a gangster disciple. I want to claim 119. I'm coming off the 9. I'm gang banging. It's going down. Mayberry in this bitch. 12 deuce. That's what I want to do. Low down. That's what I want to do. Okay, son. Well, let me go take you over here, get you blessed. Once I get you blessed, I'm going to get you your booklet that got your lit in it. You're going to learn the 5 P's. You're going to learn. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. But why would you let your son go and live in the streets to be gangbanger? That's what he said he identified as. He felt in his heart of hearts that he's a gangbanger. He wants to be a gangster disciple. My son says he believes he's Larry Hoover's son, and therefore he needs to be a gangster disciple. Let him gangbang. He was stacking them on the boss when he was 3 years old. He was throwing up the forks at 6. He knew he was going to be folks. So what would be wrong with that? My son has been a four-corner hustler since he was 2 years old. I saw it in his eyes. And when he was able to talk, he told me he wanted to be a solid foe. And not only did he want to be a solid foe, he wanted to be a renegade. That's what he wanted to do. So if I take my son and expose him to that lifestyle and he gets shot at 13 and is dead, he's the next Yummy Sandiford. Then that's just it. So be it. He died doing what he loved. He lived his truth. Let's lower the casket and let's throw up the foes for my son who lived his life ever since he was a kid as a gangbanger. First of all, it's BD. He wants to be a BD. Third world, that's what he want to do. Take him down to the BDs, let him run with the BDs. He over there in London town, causing all types of havoc, shooting at niggas, robbing old ladies. He doing what he's supposed to do because that's what he said he was when he was foe. He ain't a foe, but he a BD. That's what it is. Right. He believes that he's Jeff Fort's son, and that's why he's out here in these streets, wreaking havoc on all you motherfuckers. My son. I'm proud of him for living his truth. That's what it is. Next thing you know, my son is 40. He's about 400 pounds. He's in a liquor store saying, gangster! Like that other video I did. Trace! Gangster! Trace! Loco! Whatever. That's bullshit, man.
At home, but knowing that she's going to be out in the world because you're a public figure, and even if you weren't, she's going to school, and to want to be protective and to make sure she's safe, that must be a scary thing, because it's one thing for you to love her and your wife to love her, but that must, you just want everyone to love her the same way.
Exactly. And once Zion came home and said, hey, you called me Zaya and I'm ready to take on this, I looked at it and said, you are a leader. You are a leader, and it's our opportunity to allow you to be a voice. Right now, it's through us because she's 12 years old, but eventually it will be through her.
Right. Well, and Glisten is a...
So it's like, you're a leader for what, though? You're just the first to be a celebrity son? Nope. What's Magic Son would probably have that title, right? He good and grown now, but I'm just saying, it's like he's living his life as a woman. Dude is doing all kind of fashion shit and all that type of shit. And right, Quintina, so Magic Johnson's son had been, gay for the most part, or was just very feminine the most of his life. From what they've said, he didn't actually come out, though, until he was like 17, 18 years old. And I get that, because it's like, the thing about it is, you don't know what your kid is going to essentially come out to be, or essentially is what they're going to do. However, You don't let them make that decision as an adult. Now, around the house, he could have been prancing around, wearing all kinds of makeup in Cookie's closet all day long. I get that. I'm not saying to shut him down and say, don't you do none of this shit, boy. Boy, I'm going to kill you, you do. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you don't go and put this out into the world and let your son so-called be a leader or be the example because he don't know yet. And if he's that dedicated to it, if that's just what he's going to be, then it ain't no problem with him waiting until he's a grown man to do it. It's certain shit you don't let your kids do because they're not adults. You don't let them fuck. You don't let them drink. You don't let them smoke. You don't let them do drugs. You don't let them vote until they're fucking adults. Why do you need to have them declare their gender at 12? It's just one of those things that you're not being a supportive parent or a bad parent to say, well, look, son, you can't live like that until you grown. That's the problem with the greater majority of our kids. They think they can do and say whatever the fuck they want without any consequences or repercussions. And as a parent, you're supposed to protect your kid from the dangers of doing this shit. The social, emotional, psychological, physical, biological side effects from this shit is what your job is, Dad. Dwayne. I ain't gonna call that nigga D-Wade. I'm gonna call that nigga Dwayne. Because he's letting me down. That's all I can say. But it's like when you think about that and you think about what these kids are being exposed to, we are exposing our kids to grown situations. That's all I'm saying. We are exposing them to grown folks' situations. And then when things happen like bullying, suicide, Columbine, active shooter, we sit back and wonder what the fuck. It's the same thing when those kids go to schools and they do shit like that. They are literally crying out to be fucking noticed. They're crying out because they're tired. They're exhausted. They've been pushed to the edge. And I ain't talking about fucking Curtis Blow neither. That is Curtis Blow, ain't it? Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. We're pushing them to the brink because we're putting them in adult situations. You get a kid that's been molested from the age of 8 until they are fucking 16. 8 years of fucking being fucked like an adult, having sex like an adult. Then what happens? Oh, he's doing it to other kids. Well, I wonder why. Well, I wonder why. It's just like when you see these kids being raised by these parents, these foster parents that are homosexual. What are those kids seeing every day? They're seeing mommy and mommy together. It's going to make them think that's what I'm supposed to be. Because I want to identify with those that are like me. That's what I'm going to do. When you see these kids that are in situations to where they have been abused or misused, whatever the case may be, then they become teenagers and they living on the streets. They doing all kind of fuck shit. What do? They tell their story. I was abused when I was a kid. And what do we say? Oh, that's why you do the crazy shit. But if you're a man, you should have still known better. That's it. Exactly, Auntie. That's exactly what they should have kept. This is something you keep in your family. You want to do this with your son? I get it. She said they are now forcing this child to stick with this even if he changes his mind. This should have been kept in the family until he was at least 18. By then, he may have changed his mind 6 or 7 times. Exactly. And if he wanted to change his mind, fine, I get it. It's just like when men or women say that they experiment with the opposite sex. A woman say, I kissed a girl once. Does that mean you gay? No. If a boy kisses another boy, does that mean he's gay? No. Now, if a boy sucks a dick twice, does that mean he's gay? Yes. Tank, you still wrong. You suck 2 dicks. If you suck 1 dick, you're gay. That's all it is. You like penis. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Tank, there is no sex in the champagne room. And if you suck a dick twice, you're gay, sir. That's it. I'm sticking to my guns. You don't get a 2 dick minimum to decide. Hey man, I saw you sucking dick. You gay? No. That was just my first dick that I was sucking in the club that night. No. I'm still trying to decide, figure out. So I just sucked 1 dick that night. Yeah, now if you catch me sucking that 3rd dick, then you can say I'm gay now. Then you tell me, you can say something then. But until then, dude, hey, look, I'm just on dick number 2. I'm still teetering. What the fuck? I'm sorry. But that's all I'm saying. Let your kid be a kid. Let your kid be a kid.
That organization you're working with, and there's a lot of, if anybody else out there can relate to this and needs help, you can go to our website and we can direct you, because I'm sure there are a lot of people that just don't know what to do. So you're a great example.
Thank you.
I know that everybody is still grieving over the loss of Kobe. Yeah. And
Durham, Ontario.
Lost on. You must have a lot of memories of Kobe, and he was just such a light, wasn't he?
Being more involved in so many different.
Then he talked about Kobe. Now, let's go to this next video, because he was also on Good Morning America.
Now to that powerful message from basketball legend Dwyane Wade, opening up about the moment his 12-year-old came out to him and wife Gabrielle Union as transgender. TJ Holmes is here with this story. Good morning, TJ.
Good morning. And Dwyane Wade's oldest son is a big-time high school basketball player. We've seen video of him over the years on the sideline rooting for his kid. Well, what you don't know and some don't realize is that he has also very publicly been rooting for and cheerleading for another of his kids. His second oldest, who we've known as Zion over the years, is now Zaya. And D. Wade is being given credit for giving a master class in how to support your LGBTQ+ child.
Former NBA superstar Dwyane Wade now sharing the moment his 12-year-old came out to him as transgender.
I don't know if everyone knows, originally named Zion born as a boy, came home and said, hey, so I want to talk to you guys. You know, I think going forward, I'm ready to live my truth. And I want to be referenced as she.
Like Tommy always says, it's not my truth. It's just the truth. Why do we need to change this? Why do we need to? Your truth should just be the truth. It should not be my truth, their truth, his truth, her truth. What is it? I, he, she, that, they. It's just the truth. That's it. Him, her truth. No, it's just the truth. There's one truth.
And her, I would love for you guys to call me Zaya.
Zaya has received strong support from Wade and his wife Gabrielle Union, including firing back at what they called social media hate from people who attacked Zaya's appearance in this family photo. Wade admitted,
yes, that little nigga had some raptor claws. Raptor claws is coming to town. God, dog. Look, man. I can't.
Appearance in this family photo. Wade admitted to Ellen DeGeneres they didn't have all the answers when.
What does that shirt say? Because somebody, I think, asked me that earlier. It says, please remain inclusive and dedicated to equality. Please remain inclusive and dedicated to equality. I don't get it.
Zaya first approached them.
Now it's our job to, one, go out and get information, to reach out to every relationship that we have. My wife reached out to everybody on the cast of Pose. We're just trying to figure out as much information we can to make sure that we give our child the best opportunity to be, her best self.
Reaction to Wade's Ellen Show appearance? Zaya's name trending on Twitter. Union thanked friends, family, and followers for information, resources, love, and encouragement. Sharing this video of a conversation between Zaya and Wade, writing, "Meet Zaya. She's compassionate, loving, whip smart, and we are so."
What the fuck is whip smart? I don't. Can somebody please? And here's my thing. I'm willing to say that I'm ignorant. I just think I'm willing to say that I'm ignorant. Can somebody please explain to me what the fuck is whip smart? So you have book smart, you have street smart. What the fuck is whip smart? I don't know. Are you like an authority on whipped cream, Cool Whip, or whips? I don't fucking know. Is this motherfucker like he's Indiana Jones whip smart? Like this motherfucker can pull out a whip like Indiana Jones and save a goddamn tribe from extinction by getting the rocks? I don't know. But what the fuck is whip smart? Please educate me, people. Somebody, anybody, everybody, scream. Why am I quoting so much 80s rap?
Proud of her. It's okay to listen to, love, and respect your children exactly as they are.
Because they're afraid they will be judged. I would say, don't even think about that. Just be true to yourself, because are you really even, what's the point of being on this earth if you're going to try to be someone you're not?
All right, D. Wade said this will be Zaya's story to tell.
And here's my thing, too, with that. Because the kid seems well-spoken. The problem with that is, again, he's 12. He is going to change. Period. He is going to change. He's going to change his ideas. He's going to change his opinions. He's going to change the way he thinks. He's going to change the way he talks. He's going to change the way he behaves. It's all going to change. So, with that being said, why would you release all of that out into the world when you don't have to? You want your kid to be well balanced and to grow up and to live a full life like we all do as parents. I get it 1000%. But there is so much confusion with this whole LGBTQ thing and whatever else is added to it that they still trying to figure it out. So it's not a clear-cut decision that's made, and it's just, oh, we got it. Yep, you're good. You know what to do. You know where to go, and you know what to be. They don't even know this. They don't even have this shit figured out. LGBTQINDPENT is still changing every fucking day. There's something new coming out. There's another letter being added. There's another issue with it. I'm post-gen. I'm pre-op, post-cis, gen, binary, -1, 18, plus 2, pi 312, Pythagorean theorem, male. That's what you're hearing. It's forever changing because it is so new. And my thing is this. If you have something that is new, get it well thought out, get it concise, and be decided on what you're going to do. Because there's turmoil even within this group. I can't tell you how many gay people, straight gay males, straight gay females, whatever, that's straight gay, right? Gay males and gay females don't like or don't get along with the trans motherfuckers. I can't tell you how many they don't. There are plenty that don't get along, that don't go along with that shit. Just like what Dave Chappelle was doing in his stand-up. It's like you got them all in a car and them motherfuckers ain't getting along. Because there is so much confusion within this group because it's a confused group. But, and I get the fact it's new and it's changing, but you don't get society and you don't challenge and charge society with being politically correct, socially correct, and all-inclusive to a bunch of things that aren't even clear and decided upon from the group itself. It's just like when I talk about black folks and niggas. It's like y'all can't expect white folks to do shit for y'all or to help y'all or to come together until y'all start coming together and helping each other first. Till y'all get y'all shit together, then y'all come. Once y'all get y'all shit together, then y'all come and tell us what you are, who you are, what your goal is, what you want to be, and how you want to be identified and acknowledged in this world. You don't get to just hodgepodge the shit as you go along, changing it every day. And if you don't do it the way they want you to do it, regardless of what they change, you the worst motherfucker in the world, and you need to be canceled and lose your livelihood. You need to be shunned, and you don't deserve to live amongst us humans. That's what it is.
Tell somewhere down the road, but it's important to keep in mind that LGBTQ plus kids are up to 6 times more likely to have attempted suicide, twice as likely to report being the victims of abuse, and
you hear that?
Black transgender women account for 90% of the violent deaths in the transgender community.
That means black male boys that try to live as girls account for 90%. Now, I don't know where he got them numbers from, but even if those numbers are remotely close to 90%, that's fucking staggering.
Repeat that because
90% of the violent deaths in the transgender community, black women. So it's hard to really measure.
So what he's saying is the niggas that's living as females, 90% of them are part of the violence that go on in the motherfucking transgender community. And y'all telling me that that's not, oh, well, society just needs to be a better society. No. That's like, holy shit. We going against the fucking grain and the laws of nature. That's what the fuck that is. And we need to get this shit together first before we present it to the world.
Measure the impact of what this family is doing, but it's kind of hard to overstate it right now as well. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, but like I said, masterclass.
Yes.
Yes.
You just hug him. He doesn't have all the answers. When you got, I'll talk to people. That's your child. First job, protect. Yeah. Hug them. We will make it through this together.
Okay. And you can do all of that in your home. You do not have to do that on Good Morning America. You do not have to do that on Ellen DeGeneres. You do not have to do that on Instagram. You don't have to do it on Twitter. You don't have to do it on Facebook. You don't have to do it on YouTube. You don't have to do it out in the world. Here's why. If you grown, get out how you live. You don't put kids in adult situations. Social media, the World Wide Web, the internet, all of this shit, this is the adult world, not the kids' world. You don't put kids in that shit because it's already a fucked up situation. There's no solidarity in the LGBTQ community. And you know what? I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna show you that they don't have their shit together. And it's not just here, it's everywhere. Watch this shit here. Let's see. Go right there. Then I'm going to go over here. And then I'm going to go down here to find this here and there. That's it, I believe. And boom.
Well, the tolerance police have a lot of power here in America, in case you haven't noticed, but they're even stronger in Canada. Just yesterday, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau delivered an official apology to gay and transgender Canadians for past state discrimination against them. But now teachers...
You hear that? He's apologizing for something that's totally new. He's apologizing to past for what's happened in the past to the gay community, lesbian, gay, transgender community.
In Durham, Ontario, had to attend a noticed, but they're even stronger in Canada. Just yesterday, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau delivered an official apology to gay and transgender Canadians for past state discrimination against them. But now teachers in Durham, Ontario had to attend an inclusiveness training course for the deep breath here, LGGBDTTTIQQAAPP community, which is apparently a community. That 15-letter acronym intended to encompass all
15-letter acronym. Do you hear that shit? LGGBDTTTIQQAAPP training. I shit y'all. I bullshit you now. I'm not making this shit up. As funny as fuck as it sounds, I'm not making this shit up. This shit here is real. This is the really real world.
All sexual minorities. It may soon be required at schools. Stephen LeDrew is a former president of Canada's Liberal Party, and he joins us tonight. Stephen, thanks for coming on.
Hi, Tucker.
So what is this acronym?
Now, this is the president of the Liberal Party in Canada. So, and just to show y'all motherfuckers that this shit ain't just here in the States, it ain't just in New York, it ain't just in LA, it ain't just in Miami, it ain't just in Chicago, it ain't just in Texas. This is in Canada.
What does it mean specifically? What are the categories? He joins us tonight. Stephen, thanks for coming on.
Hi, Tucker.
So what does this acronym mean specifically? What are the categories?
Well, I mean, it's generally shortened to LGBTQ, which is the communities, and there's a few extra ones they've added in there. But no one goes.
Did he not just totally dodge that whole question? That was a pretty direct question. And that's one of the things let me tell you something. I hate when people, period, can't answer direct fucking questions. Most people that do that shit are women and men that are raised by women. If I ask you what the fuck is your name, you don't have to respond to me with what you want to know my name for. That's shit that women do. Why you asking me that? Well, my name ain't important. What you need to know that for? Tell me if that ain't that fuck shit that goes on. He asked him directly, what is that? Tell me what that is. What you're coming on here to talk about, tell me what that is. And watch what this fuck dude do.
What are the categories?
Well, I mean, it's generally shortened to LGBTQ, which is the communities, and there's a few extra ones they've added in there. But no one goes by that. Maybe that's to teach kids the alphabet or not, but generally it's the...
Now, you see him just make light of that shit? Now, let that have been a Trump supporter. Let that have been a conservative. Let that have been a Republican that made that joke. Oh, now you're not taking us serious and you're disrespecting us. You're disrespecting the little girls and the little boys that are having to live this every day, that have to live in their truth every day. That's what you're doing.
He referred to, and the Prime Minister referred to it yesterday in the House of Commons during his apology as LGBTQ. And some people don't even know what it means, but they just know that means inclusiveness. It's a good thing. It's a question of tolerance.
Right.
So basically, you giving these motherfuckers Secret Service status. That's essentially what you're doing. You just giving this group of undecided motherfuckers who don't know what the fuck they want to do, let alone who the fuck they are. You just want to give them Secret Service clearance. For those of you who don't know, the Secret Service cannot be detained or arrested or their progress impeded upon in any shape, form, or fashion. Which means, literally, a Secret Serviceman can walk down the middle of the street, shoot a motherfucker in the face, and the police can say, hey, hold on. And he say, Secret Service. And he good. Like the fat white dude in fucking Lethal Weapon 2. Diplomatic immunity. That's what they want to just give the LGBTQ community. No other fucking group has this type of complete autonomy. Just give these motherfuckers diplomatic immunity where they can do whatever the fuck they want, say whatever the fuck they want. Well, I tell you what. I am Officer Murtaugh. No way you live. No way. Okay? That's what we got to do to these motherfuckers. We got to put this Murtaugh shit down on these motherfuckers. We got to tear down the steel house, the house on stilts. We got to tear this shit down. Jesus Christ. Listen to this shit.
Of course, but I guess what piqued my interest was the addition of new letters, each representing a new category. And I'm not against it, kind of confused by it, and I just want to know what it means. Do you know what the acronym stands for?
Again, a direct question, and he even made it more specific. He said, I get what you're saying, and I'm not against it, although I'm confused by it, which is why I'm asking you the question to clarify it. You are talking about this group of people that you are supporting, and you in turn want others to embrace and support. Please tell me what the letters mean, sir. Just explain it to me so that I can begin to try to understand it so that I can accept it. And if I have any questions, this would also be a great time for me to do so, right? Let's see what he says. Tell him what he's won, Bob.
Do you know what those 15 groups are?
What's the problem with it? You know,
I'm not saying, but hold on, slow down. I'm not saying there is a problem with it. I'm just asking what it is, because defining the terms is the first step to understanding them and then accepting them. So
exactly. I don't get this, dude. Do you hear this? Do you hear this? He is clearly explaining what he's asking and why he's asking it. And this dude is literally just totally disregarding and deflecting the question. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to show this. Because this is exactly how people act when they talk about Trump. This is exactly how people act when they talk about Republicans. This is exactly how people act when you talk to them or question them about anything that's going on as far as the presidential term of the past 4 years. Now, when Obama was in office, if you said anything against Obama, you was a racist and you was hating on him. You do the same thing now today, and you ain't got no clear, cold facts. And what do people say? He a racist? Show me how. He is. Okay. I ask you again. You don't like Trump? Hell no. Why? Because he ain't right. Okay. Tell me something that Donald J. Trump has done that no other politician has ever done, and I will agree with you. Crickets every fucking time. That's all you hear. Well, that's not the point. Oh, so what is the point? He's supposed to do what's right. He's supposed to be presidential. So it ain't the fact that you got some shit on him that he's done. He been impeached. He ain't been impeached. So you got this problem with this dude. I get it. But you don't even know who your fucking congressman is. You don't even know who your fucking state rep is. But you got a problem with this motherfucker who don't have an impact on your life. You motherfucking got a problem with a nigga that says 1600 Pennsylvania, but you too busy, but you living on 2600 Jackson Street. Bitch, please. Nigga, please. I'm complaining, bitching and moaning about 1600 Pennsylvania, and I'm living on 2600 Jackson Street. There's plenty more problems living on 2600 Jackson Street that are clear and present dangers than it is with a motherfucker that's living at 1600 Pennsylvania. Them niggas that's on 2600 Jackson Street got more of a fucking pressing sense of urgency to change their lives than they do need to be worried about a motherfucker that's up in Washington, D.C. on the hill at 1600. Just saying. But you asked this dude clearly, to get back to my point, you asked him clearly for some type of clarification to be specific in what it is you're asking, and he can't do it. And he's here to literally talk about this.
What is it? By it, and I just want to know what it means. Do you know what the acronym stands for? Do you know what those 15 groups are?
What's the problem with it? You know, even
I'm not saying. But hold on, slow down. I'm not saying there is a problem with it. I'm just asking what it is, because defining the terms is the first step to understanding them and then accepting them. So what is it?
Well, I mean, you've got in front of you. You have me at a disadvantage on that one because to be very candid with you, as I said, everybody in Canada knows what LGBTQ, sometimes a 2 in the end, means. But that long one, quite frankly, until your producers showed it to me, I hadn't seen it. But then I looked at it, and you have all the definitions through there.
Okay, that's fine. But then why do you think it's a good thing if you don't know what it is?
But what's the matter with it? If there's,
well, I don't. Motherfucker, what's the matter with it? I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what the fuck it is. How do you want me? And look, this is what Democrats want for all of you. This is what your government wants for all of you. They want you to just go with it. Roll with the shit. They want you to just roll with it. Don't argue, don't ask me nothing, just roll with it. Damn, that shit just made me think about that nigga Herman. Just roll with it. That's all they want you to do. I'm gonna fuck you over, fuck the shit out of you. Just roll with it. Don't worry about it. Just say yes. All you gotta do is say yes. That's all they want you to do. Go with what I'm telling you, because not that I'm proving anything to you, it's just because I'm telling you. Trust me. Go with it and embrace it. It's all inclusive, or what is it? It doesn't matter. Just say you're with it. Just say it's okay. That's all. That shit could be queer, adolescents, anal rapage. Go with it. Include them all. All of the anal assassin. The AA could stand for anal assassin. The 2 Q's could just be eyes saying, look. The PP could be people's penises. I have no clue.
I mean, look, I don't know. I mean, you could hand me a box and say there's something great inside, and my answer would be, okay, what is it? I mean, I don't pronounce things great until I know what they are, but you don't have that problem. So, I'll get specific with you.
That motherfucker said, open the box. Motherfucker, what if it's Pandora's box? You saw what happened to that bitch, didn't you? Here's a box. Hey, what's in it? I don't know. A bitch named Pandora gave it to me. Well, why the fuck do you want me to open it? Just open it. Have a good time. It's gonna be okay. Let's embrace all of the fuckery and debauchery of the world. We don't know what's in it. Let's just open it. Let's see what you won, Bob. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Do what it says inside. It's a note that says, kill my mother. Just do it. Live your truth. Do what you've come to do. Yes, that's it. Whatever you want. I don't know what you come to do, and I don't know what you come to do, but I've come to just open a box and do whatever the fuck is going on in my mind at the moment, which is all subject to change. And not only am I going to do it, but I want you to embrace it and be inclusive about it.
And this is meaningful because teachers are being taught this, kids will be taught it. And I think I have a right to non-judgmentally ask what they're talking about. So, for example, what's Two-Spirit?
Well, Two-Spirit sounds like there's someone they don't know whether they're...
What the fuck is this, charades? Sounds like... What kind of shit is this? We are allowing people to do this to us, y'all. Don't y'all see this shit? Can't you see the goal? Shout out to my boy Mac. Can't you see what the fuck this is? He said, sounds like to me, sounds like a movie. First word, fuck. Second word, sounds like hit, spit, shit. Fuck shit. The movie, right now in stores. There you go. Charades has been won. I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear. Can you feel that? Huh? Can you feel that? Kind of shit is that?
You know, fish or fowl. They don't know whether they're frick or frack. So they're clearly confused. And, you know, again, if you're...
So, for example, what's two-spirit?
Well, two-spirit sounds like there's someone they don't know whether they're, you know, fish or fowl. They don't know whether they're frick or frack. So,
new gay acronym includes demisexual, two-spirit, and pansexual categories. Oh my God, what the fuck? Do y'all hear this? This dude is just like, sounds like it's just two people that are like freaking frack. Go with it.
so they're clearly confused. And, you know, again, if you're confused, what better place to go than to be at school? So, I mean...
What the fuck you talking, man? If you're confused, what better place to go than school? What better place to go than school if you look confused? So fuck getting some type of understanding from your mom, your dad, your parents at home. Fuck all of that. Your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, your immediate family. Fuck that. You're confused? Go to school. They care more about you than your family do. They'll get you straight. Right. This is insane. And this goes to show you what these people are truly doing, which is just causing nothing but utter chaos. That's it. If this ain't no Babylonian type of shit, I don't know what is. This is the shit that Sodom and Gomorrah was on. Do whatever. Fuck whatever. Fuck whoever. It don't matter. If you want it, do it. If you think it, be it. If you can see it, then you can be it. If you just think it, then the whole world should cheer it. I believe I can be whatever the fuck I wanna be. I think about being a zebra. So shut the fuck up and congratulate me, bruh. I believe I can go and be a motherfucking Pinocchio. I believe I can do whatever the fuck I wanna do. Whatever the fuck I wanna do. That's what we saying. Whatever you think you can be, that's what you should be. Whatever you think you want to do, that's what you... Hey, just whatever. Fuck the laws of nature. Fuck the laws of society. Fuck all of that shit. Just be whatever you want. Do whatever you want. That's it. Don't worry about no rules. Don't worry about the laws of nature. Don't worry about the laws of gravity. Just fucking fly. Go to the top of the Sears Tower and jump. Because if you believe you can fly, motherfucker, you can fly. Fly, fly, fly. I woke up thinking that I was a pit bull. And so I went and bit motherfuckers at my school. I locked onto their arms and then I shook. And then a teacher hit me with a book. And then I said, you bitch, why did you do that fuck shit? And then she said, stop it. But I said, bitch, can't you see I'm a pit? I believe I'm a pit. I believe I can fight some shit. I think about it every night and day. I grab onto a rope and shake away. I believe I can jump and bite the fucking old ass lady on her rump. I believe I'm a pit. I believe I'm a pit. I believe I'm a pit. That's what we doing. That's where we at. Whatever you think you are, that's what you should be. Go live it. If you die doing what you love.
All those categories, I'll bet you, Tucker, all those categories that are in that long litany that you laid out there, I'll bet you that no one, well, maybe 5 people in all of Canada, could lay out what exactly those are.
And do you see that this dude is on fucking national TV trying to get everyone to embrace this shit? He said he believes that maybe or less than 5 people in all of Canada, oh Canada, I don't know the rest of that song, 5 people could possibly tell you what that long-ass 15-character acronym means. But he's saying we should embrace it and roll with it. If that ain't an insult on your intelligence, I don't know what the hell is.
Someone feels.
It's like believing in the magic case in fucking Pulp Fiction. You don't know what the fuck was in that case. All you know is that it glowed. That's it. It was golden. It was a golden light in a briefcase. So should everybody think that it's just something that's just impeccably valuable, just absolutely the most valuable treasure in the whole wide world is in this case? Motherfuckers dying over what was in that case, and we don't know what was in it. This motherfucker is saying, hey, we should just trust that case has the most valuable piece of whatever it is in it, and that's just what we should do. Believe it. Go with it.
That they are a better person, that they are more included in society, that no one, well, maybe 5 people in all of Canada, could lay out what exactly those are. But if someone feels that they are a better person, that they are more included in society, and there's someone else in society, some teachers, who understand them or who want to understand them, you know, that's what Canada's about.
No, but hold on, wait, no, I'm sorry. Look, I'm for people feeling included. I'm against meanness. I'm for politeness. But I also believe in the right to ask simple questions and get direct answers. So if you're teaching kids about a group, I think it's fair to define what it is. I mean, you don't know, but you're...
This is basic fucking information that people should not only expect, but should have. You don't get me to try and do or think or believe something. You can't even tell me what the fuck it is.
Willing to say, well, it's great, and I'm baffled by that because maybe it's not great. Maybe we should find out what it is before we say that, no? Or is everything the teachers group think up good by definition?
I think you're absolutely right. Well, no, I'm not.
If you think I'm absolutely right, then what the fuck you doing on my show, man? Why are we here?
I'm not saying that everything that teachers groups thinks up is good. I mean, they've had some very different things before. They had a measure last summer, and if they were in the States, they would have said, no school could be called the George Washington School. They said, get rid of that first Prime Minister of Canada. So they aren't always on par. But on this one, and to be very candid, as I said at the outset, I don't know what all those mean.
But that's the point. We all mindlessly go along. But the point is we're all bullied. We're all afraid to ask honest questions like, what is this? And what bothers me is we don't know who makes up these categories. So there are...
Exactly. There is literally no organization. There is nobody or no group of people that say, hey, we at the head of this shit, we are coming up and formulating this shit. We have an effort to bring all this shit to the forefront so that we can be treated fairly and equally. Even when you go back to civil rights, you had the SCLC, you had the NAACP, you had OPP, you had groups of people that had a purpose and said, this is what we're trying to do. You had SNCC, you had some of everybody. You did, and they formed groups. And you form a group, not to say it's the one all, the be all, but you form a group so that you can have some type of consensus as to what it is you're trying to do. So that when people do have questions, when people do want to consult, if you are truly a legitimate group, you would have the masses of the people of your kind supporting you, and therefore you can represent your group. That's what you do. This shit here, we don't know who came up with this. And he don't even know. But he's speaking on it and wants us to embrace it. I don't get that.
15 different groups in this acronym. Did anyone poll them and ask, do you want to be included? Do the asexuals want to be with the allies and the pansexuals and the polyamorous? I mean, this is all made up. Nobody asked anybody, and now it's imposed on the rest of us.
Everybody wants to be included. That's what this whole thing is about. It's society, you want to be included. That's a social contract. So, no one, I'm sure, went out and polled people, and they said out of the 1,000 people, if you are that...
Well, I hope that a bunch of roaches don't get together and come up with a goddamn group, because we're going to have to include them motherfuckers too, huh? I hope a bunch of fucking people don't say, hey, animals are people too, and we got to include them in everything. You got to start letting bears come into the movie theater. You got to let lions go into the grocery store because they want to be included. This is fucking idiotic. This is stupid. And the fact that these people are coming on national television to say these things, it's not the media's fault. It's our fault as a society that we are allowing these motherfuckers to just say anything. I'm all for freedom of speech. I'm all for everybody being able to say whatever you want to say. But God damn it, when it comes to the media, especially the mainstream media, there needs to be a certain standard of just saying what you're saying. Is it true? Is it legit? And does it have some concrete fucking facts to it? Not a bunch of, well, I don't know, but I just want you to say yes. Well, I don't know, but I just want you to be okay with it. We need to get past that shit. Stop letting just anybody say any goddamn thing without being challenged.
Fifth category in that long line of that long litany of names that you have, right? No one's going to be polled on this thing, but it sounds to me that you're taking an issue with some teachers saying, let's try to bring it together. You already said
you're totally missing it. I'm for bringing people together. I think there's something inherently divisive about making up a, quote, community without asking anybody in the community if they constitute a community. And by the way, why would question, I mean, did anyone even ask? Like, who made this up? Who's making these rules? We have to abide by them, so it seems fair to ask. Like, where did this come from?
Well, it's not a rule, Tucker. That was what you're reading is something that was created by teachers. They said, let's bring all the groups in. We have these names. I'm sure there was no poll on it. I know in the States everything is run by polls. We don't do that in Canada. They said,
because you don't care what the people think in Canada.
Right.
What were you saying? You don't do polls in Canada because you don't care what your population thinks? That's not meaningful to you?
No, we do polls, but we don't run everything by polls. What I understand
you just impose it by...
You're talking about everything in polls. I get that. But how about something that you want to introduce into your entire school district, the entire education community? You want to introduce something into your entire education system, but you don't want to poll anybody on it to make sure that what you're trying to do is correct. You don't want to poll anybody to ask questions to make sure that everybody who's a part of this wants to be a part of this.
A fiat on a passive population? Is that what you're like? What point are you making?
Are you picking on our prime minister?
I'm not picking on. I'm pro-Canada. I just came to ask simple questions, as we do in this country, hoping I would get a straightforward answer, not finding one, pressing forward a little more gently, politely, respectfully, and getting nothing.
Well, I'm sorry that you feel I'm giving you nothing, because I'm giving you the honest truth. The honest truth.
And the honest truth, he's right about this,
is that most people...
The honest truth is that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just literally doing something just to get some type of attention. They don't know what the hell they're trying to do. They don't know what the fuck their goal is. They're literally just trying to do something just so that they can say, we started doing this first. And even though we don't know what we're doing, we just doing it just to be doing it. And it could be wrong as shit, but we're doing it. Chaos.
In Canada would not know all those categories, but they would say, you know what? Even if there's 10 people out there in Durham County where this group was meeting, then that's a good thing. Bring them in. And if they're saying that they have some sexual change or some sexual option that I don't know about, well, let's all talk about it. And that's what that thing was for the meeting. It's for an invitation for everybody to come in.
So what if somebody
say,
said,
okay,
what if,
here's what
I mean,
we're doing.
I guess what bothers me, I mean, look, this is taking place in Canada, so it doesn't affect me or most of our viewers directly, but I just sort of wonder, because free speech is not guaranteed, as you know, in your country, and people are in prison for saying unpopular things there. I wonder what would happen to someone.
Think so.
Well, you're wrong, they are. But I wonder what would happen. What would
He states a clear fact. Like, come on, man. Why do people try to not acknowledge facts? I don't understand that. You can't just do and say whatever the fuck you want in Canada like you can in fucking America. You can't. Why are you trying to even debate that, sir? There are certain things that your ass can't do over there that you can absolutely do here. We're not saying what's right and what's wrong. We're just stating the fact, motherfucker, you don't have the same freedoms over there as you do here. That's just a fact. What the fuck are you talking about? I can't go to fucking North Korea and do whatever the fuck I want to do in North Korea that I do here. I can't. I can't go to fucking China and do whatever the fuck I want to do in China that I do here. You just can't do that. So why would you even argue that? Why would you even try to, well, give me an example of that, Tucker? Man, get the fuck out my face on the internet. You know good and goddamn well that what he's saying is true.
happen to somebody who said, you know, I'm not interested in playing along with this. I don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. Leave me alone. Teach my kids to read and do math. That person would be dismissed as insensitive or bigoted or worse, wouldn't he?
No, they wouldn't. I mean, because we're not judgmental like that. So you're saying from an American point of view, that person would be dismissed as bigoted. But in Canada, they wouldn't be. They say, okay, fine. That's your opinion. Others have a different opinion.
Oh, if only that were true.
And you know what?
I wish
Canada,
that were true. I mean, that's the country I want to live in. I want to live in a country where we can disagree. We don't call each other names. And we just sort of agree to disagree. But that's not the country you live in, and increasingly that's not the country I live in.
Oh, it is. It is the country that we live in, Canada. There's a big difference between the United States and Canada, and that's one of the differences. And I asked you, Tucker, to tell me who's in prison in Canada for saying something wrong. We have a great free speech.
People are prosecuted for hate crimes in Canada for expressing things that are unpopular. And that's Canadian law. Mark Stein got sued over this. Yeah, okay.
No,
all right,
you know what?
Stephen, we're in a factual dispute in which you were in the wrong, but that's another show. I hope you will come back and we can talk about that in some detail. But in the meantime, thank you.
Unfucking believable. And here's my thing. So I see Louis the 17th. I think is what that is. I have my Roman numeral counting might be a little off, but I believe that's 17. But that is 17. Should we allow body mutilation in our society? And he also says, should we remove the minimum age of consent? I honestly believe, I don't know about the body mutilation, but I honestly believe that that's where this shit is trying to get to. I believe that's one of the goals. That whole, what's the name of that fucking group? NAMBLA. I believe that that's what they're on. I believe that they are trying to get to that point to where it's what the fuck ever. That's my whole problem with this. I think that it's just to that point to where if you create enough confusion, enough chaos, if you have enough people just indulging in whatever the fuck they want, then it becomes a thing to where there are no laws, there are no rules, and it's just a free-for-all. And then that way, any and everybody can do whatever they fucking want. That's it. Yes, I believe that. I truly believe that. When you're talking about what is the goal, the end game to all of this, you're trying to take down and you're trying to give children the permission to do and say whatever they want. And you're trying to give children the right to consent to whatever it is they want. That's the only end game to this. So I'm a bad parent if I don't let my kid do whatever the fuck he wants. I'm a bad parent if I don't let my kid, I'm not supporting my children or my child if I don't let her do whatever the fuck she wants. That's essentially what we're telling people when we're doing things like this on social media. That's essentially what this is about. When we're talking about, hey, you got to support your kid and love your kid, you're doing a master's class in parenting. When you're doing anything aside from that, anything that's not like that, you're not embracing whatever your kid wants to do, then that's what it is. That's what it is. And all I'm saying to that is I have a huge fucking problem with letting a child make adult decisions. And I have a huge problem with putting children in adult situations. It never has worked and it never will work. And it leads you down the rabbit hole to debauchery and fuckery more than we could ever imagine. Because right now we're looking at one little boy that wants to be a girl. Tomorrow we'll be looking at 2. A week from now we'll be looking at 10. A year from now we'll be looking at 10,000. That's my point. I'm all for people saying what they want, doing what they want, and being who they want as fucking adults. Children should not make adult decisions because they cannot pay for those adult consequences. Just like the little boy, Jazz, made an adult decision. His parents let him make that adult decision. And now, as a child, because he made those adult decisions, he will suffer his entire life because of the medical side effects that he has undergone because of taking hormones at a young age, prepubescent. Lifelong fucking decision made by a child, and that child will now have to suffer those consequences for the rest of his life. Why would I put my kid or allow my kid, not an adult, but my kid to join a group that has a 6 times greater suicide rate than the average human? Why would I do that? Why would I put my kid in harm's way of being ridiculed, of being traumatized, of suffering the social, the psychological, and the emotional side effects of that choice that they're making? Not that other kids are necessarily doing it to them, but just the conflict that you have within yourself. Why would I put my kid in that situation in mainstream media and on social media? Parents, that thing that that dude said in the beginning of that on the GMA thing, protect your kids first and foremost. Fathers, that is your number one responsibility to your children and your family. Protect them first at all costs. So that's why I disagree with Dwyane making the choice that he's making. You want to support your kid? You want to try to be the best parent that you can be? I don't have the fucking handbook on parenting down pat. I don't have the handbook on parenting to a science to where everything I say and do as a parent is the best thing and the right thing. But I do know this. You don't allow your kid to make adult decisions on the media and live it out in social media when they are still a child. You don't do that. You don't let your kid be exposed like that to the world. You just don't. You look at fucking Bruce Jenner. He's even conflicted in the fucking choice he made. And he's fucking over 50 years old. Go figure, huh? And he didn't even have his twig and berries cut off. He just added some tits. He's a guy with tits now. Still conflicted. So just making the switch just like that, it's not the key. It's not the answer. Because if it was, everybody would do it. Everybody would support it. The doctors would be like, yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. You get old, just look at it like this. You become a young adult and haven't had the chicken pox yet. You know what the doctors tell you? Get exposed to it. Expose them to it. At 14, expose them to it. You ain't had the chicken pox yet, son? You need to get the chicken pox now. You know why? Because you can fucking die from it if you're grown. So it's best, here's the fix. If you haven't had it as a kid, you need to get it as a teenager because you don't want it when you're grown. Because you can die from the shit. Here's the thing. You got a kid who isn't quite sure on what gender they want to be. You got a kid that wants to be a different gender. Hey, fine. You let that kid live their life in your house the way that they want to live. And when they want to go out into the world as a grown man, then they can go and do that. You don't let them make that mistake as a kid because it's an adult decision. That's what I would tell my kid. Son, I love you with everything that I am. And I understand that this is a very difficult time for you. I understand that you are in a transition period in your life. And although I have not done it, my job is to protect you as your father. And son, whatever your preference is, I'm okay with it, but I will not allow you to live it out on social media, and I will not allow you to live it out in the world. When you become an adult, you can do whatever your heart desires. But I would not be a good parent if I let you make this potential mistake at a young age, knowing what the ramifications of it are, because those ramifications could be lifelong. What do you want to do when Zion is 15 and wants to get his dick cut off? Do you let him? What do you do when Zion wants to take hormone therapy? Do you let him? Because of the biological effects of that could ruin his life to the point to where he kills himself. As a parent, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Why would I put my kid in a situation to where he can possibly wind up dead? And I know this as a father. I know that me allowing my child to live this life, he's increasing his suicide rate. He's increasing his own mortality. He's increasing his own mental health. He's increasing the odds of that being totally against him. Why would I do that? And I'm his dad. I'm her mom. Why would I do that? I understand, kid, what you're going through and the fact that you want to change. You're not at the point in your life where you can do that. I understand, kid, that you want to have sex, but you're not at the point mentally where you should do that. I understand that you think you want to go and live your life like it's golden, but you are not at the point in your life where you can do that. You want to be grown? You want to make adult decisions? Go get you a fucking job and a fucking career to where you can sustain your lifestyle and have at it. Until then, my house, my rules. What the fuck happened to that type of mentality? I don't know. But I can tell you this, it raised a better kid. There was plenty of shit I wanted to do as a kid that my mom wouldn't let me do. There was plenty of shit that I wanted to do as a kid that my dad wouldn't let me do. And I thanked them for it. Even though at that moment I thought they were the worst motherfuckers in the world and they never let me get to do nothing. I can't do anything with my mama. Always fucking up my life. But as I got grown and as I became an adult, I understood that what they were protecting me from were the consequences of adult decisions. And that's what your job is as a parent. You don't let your kid make adult decisions because they can't afford to pay for the consequences. That's it. Son, I know you want to take your fucking life savings, all the money I saved for you for college. I know you want to take it and go and buy you a fucking car. I know you want to take it and go spend it on some fucking whatever. However, you're a child. And I'm not going to let you make a decision that's going to fuck over your entire life potentially. just because you feel this way. You feel this way. Daddy, I feel like I'm a girl. Daddy, I've been feeling like I'm a girl since I was 3. Daddy, I've been feeling like I was a girl since I was 13. Daddy, I've been feeling like I was a girl for the past 3 days. I understand, son. Here's the thing. Although that may be how you feel, that in turn is not your reality. Because in reality, you are a boy, Damon. And I'm not going to let you make the mistake of living your life as a girl and then you regret it. I'm not going to make the mistake by signing the surgical paperwork for you to get your dick and balls cut off, for you to then wish you had them 3 months later, 3 years later, or 13 years later. I'm not going to allow you to take these hormone therapy pills as a fucking 12-year-old, because when you 18, you might want to be a boy again, but you can't, because your body will fucking shut down on you and you can die because of the lack of the hormones that your body has now become addicted to as a female. So, son, you got to keep those tits that you grew when you were 12. You got to keep them now for the rest of your life. I'm not going to do that to my kid. Daughter, that fucking Rick Ross beard you grew now, I know you want to be a woman again, but you got to keep that shit for the rest of your life. So I hope you got used to that strap on that you've been wearing, because you got to keep it now. You don't do that to your children. That's it, and that's all that I have to say about that. D. Wade, I understand that you're a young parent. I'm not a young parent. I understand that you're a parent trying to figure this shit out for your kid, man. And I get that. And for all these other parents that are out here trying to figure this shit out so that their kids can live the best life that they possibly can, I understand that. But just keep these 2 things in mind. You don't let your child make adult decisions. I don't know why I keep saying supervision. You don't make your kid make adult decisions. And you don't put your kid in adult situations. That's it. Just keep those 2 things, because I know, if I don't know shit else, I know I'm right about those 2 things. We can debate on all the other shit in the world. We can debate about parenting, being a dad, being a mom. We can debate all of that. But I do know that it never works out for the kid when you let a child make adult decisions and when you put a child in adult situations. It's just like when parents argue in front of their kids. It's just like when one parent talks shit about the other parent to the kid. It never works out. It destroys that kid's ability to function as an adult and to be a better parent when they get older. So to all the single mamas that talk shit about the baby daddies that they picked, that they fucked, that they carried their baby and got that baby here now you hate this nigga because he ain't doing what the fuck you want him to do when you knew he was an ain't shit nigga when you fucked him, but you thought you could change it because your pussy was magic, and now you're talking shit to him, to his son, or to his daughter. Just know you're fucking their heads up too, and they're gonna make the same dumbass decisions and fucked up decisions, if not worse, that you made when they get older. Believe that. So every parent that's out here keeping their kid away from their baby daddy, every parent that's out here talking shit about their baby daddy to their kid, just know you're putting your kid on a guaranteed path to have fucked up relationships with the opposite sex when they get older, or to follow in their same fucking parents, in that gender's parents' footsteps. They gonna choose the same kind of fucked up men you chose, and they gonna lay down and have kids with the same kind of fucked up men that you did, and they won't know how to have a relationship with a good man because you fucked them up as a kid. Because of the decisions you made and talk shit to them while they were children, they not only listened to it and heard it, they're now going to live it. That shit about speaking life into a kid, speaking life into a person, speaking something into existence, it's real. It happens. It's the truth. All right, everybody. I appreciate everybody for listening to me. I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab. I'm going to read off these few donations real quick. Give some thanks to those people that took the time out to donate to your boy, because I sure do appreciate it. Want to give a shout out to my brother Bolo. Hey, Bo, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it. He said for the love, bro. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hit your boy off with $2. Also from Jamari Wilson, thank you, sir, for the good content. Hit your boy off with $1. That's what's up. And my man Roderick Swain, thank you so much, man. Hit your boy off for $5. That's what's up. Yes, indeed. I appreciate you, bro. And also to my brother, oh, this is the other night, but still, my brother Jason Gunn hit your boy off with $25 the other day. Thank you so much, bro, for your donations, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so much for doing what y'all do. You still have time to click the like button and to click that donate button if you do solely feel inclined to do so. Let's see here. I'm going to hit up the PayPal real quick, and then we is out. Let's see here. Where is... There we go. I don't know why it always take forever to get into my PayPal. It's like a long swirl. Come on now. Dang it. There you go. Nope, that's not it. Where is... there we go. All right, cool. My activity. That's what I'm trying to get to. Let's see here. Shout out to my man. Who was this? Stephen Washington. Hit your boy off with $5 as well. Thank you, sir, for your donation. My man Troy Sherman hit your boy off with $1. He said, glad you're okay. Yes, sir, I am. Thank you so much. And I think that was it. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for the donations. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for clicking the like button. Thank you for clicking the subscribe button. If this is your first time, please click that thumbs up. Please click the like, subscribe, and the share button. And hey, as always, I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab. Peace, and I'm out.